So I recently got this new camera. This is the Insta360 Go Ultra. It's the latest camera for Insta360. And I've had a few weeks now to test it and try it out. This is like my short-term review, first impression short-term review kind of video. I want to talk a bit about the camera, things I love about it, things I actually don't like about it, and things I can see them going to be improving in the future, or things I would like to see them improve. This is the latest camera for Insta360. It is in this charging pod, and if we take it out, it is ridiculously small. It is the new camera to its predecessor, which is the Go 3, which is the, again, smaller camera that goes in the magnetic charging pod. You can attach it to a pendant around your neck. Weighs like 53 grams, so it's super lightweight. It's kind of like hidden. It's not like a big action camera, so it doesn't draw too much attention to you. And it's really, really handy for pretty much all action sports, vlogging, adventure, travel, whatever you want to do with it. So that was kind of like the things that draw my eye to this camera when I first got it. Like the size of it, like the size of that. It weighs nothing. And it also now has a removable micro SD card, which the Go 3 previous to this didn't have. The camera can also shoot at a wider field of view. Go 3 could film at 150 degrees. This can now film at 156 degrees, which is the same as a GoPro Hero 13. So it's pretty much comparative now to the other best cameras in the market. I mean, in its charging case, it is actually the same size. It's roughly about the same size as all other action cameras. It's not in terms of size when it's in the action pod. Obviously, if we take it out, this thing's the size of a GoPro battery. Now, I've been testing this recently on some trips and been super impressed by how easy the camera is to use, how user-friendly it is, how lightweight it is when I'm using it on my helmet for mountain biking. And I've been using some of the accessories that come in the box when you first get it. When you get the camera, it comes with a magnetic pendant you can wear on your neck. You can put it here, which is obviously great for vlogging. You can almost use it like a chesty cam. And it also comes with this magnetic clip, which I really love. So you could clip it to a hat like this or a helmet and clip the camera straight to it. There's no need for mounting anything, screws, or all that stuff which you would have to do with other action cameras, which I really, really do like. It's a massive time saver, and it just means you have to carry less stuff around with you. For me, I just like minimalism. I like carrying as little stuff as I can to shoot the best possible videos, be it mountain biking, travel, vlogging, anything. It is a really good camera on those fronts. There's also been a significant improvement in terms of the sensor size. So the actual sensor itself is bigger than a GoPro Hero 13, which is going to help with all aspects of shooting videos when it comes to dynamic range, shooting in high exposed settings, in the dark woods, which brings me to also the pure video mode on the camera. If you've used Insta360 cameras in the past, pure video mode is the dog's box when it comes to shooting in low light. It really does enhance everything going on without adding too much noise to your footage, which is amazing because a lot of action cameras can't deal with the dark, low light. And it can shoot 4K 60 frames a second, which I think is awesome with that super wide field of view. Couple of things that I'm not so keen on this camera, believe it or not. And I think these probably will come with improvements over time. First thing is kind of a blessing in disguise, right? If you've ever used one of these cameras, you'll know that Insta360 have a very sensitive touchscreen, which is great, because you get a lot of user feedback. It's very easy to navigate around the menus. But when I was using it for mountain biking, and I don't know if this was to do with how I set the camera up or if I was doing something wrong, it has something on there called clarity zoom, which I think is probably the worst feature on this camera. It's the worst idea Insta360 I've ever had, and it's useless, I think. Now what it does is it allows you to zoom in to your video in real time when you're recording. But if you're recording and you set your aspect ratio, you set your field of view, and then you set off down a mountain bike trail, you set off recording, and then halfway through that footage, your aspect ratio and field of view just crops in completely, and then you can't adjust it. And you've no idea what's changed until you've finished your trail. And it almost makes the footage, but it does make the footage unusable. And this is really frustrating because there's no way of turning clarity zoom off. This is really annoying. It should just be in the settings. You can turn clarity zoom on or off, so it's not actually accessible on the touchscreen. Now you can lock the touchscreen in the settings menu, which kind of does fix the problem, but the last thing I want to be doing after pressing record is like having to go right down and lock my screen. I literally want to have this camera and just click record, click stop when I'm done, And I just know with confidence that it's saved all my videos on this camera for me to review later on. That's all I want the camera to do. If there's any hesitation and I have to stop every now and again to check whether the camera is recording or not, it kind of pulls away from what an action camera is actually for. So that's kind of one drawback, but I think that's going to be easily fixed. Second thing, and again, this could be my newbiness with this camera, which I don't think it is. Every time I changed this camera settings to video settings I wanted, it kept reverting back to different settings every time I restarted the camera, like turned it off, turned it back on, and it wouldn't be the same settings. It would be something completely different. If I'm taking a break and then pressing record on the camera and then coming back and pressing record, and then the camera is recording in different settings, I'm going to have different footage. It's not going to be consistent. And again, this leads to lack of confidence, which is really annoying, because the last thing I want to be doing when I'm using a camera like this is having to triple check everything, triple check my settings are right, triple check I'm actually in the right mode. That's a little bit annoying. Again, it probably could be easily fixed with a firmware update, but that's just some things I've noticed after using this camera for a couple of weeks. The size is going to be one of the biggest things for most people, and the battery life. The battery life on this standalone camera is 60 minutes of recording time at 4K, which is amazing. 60 minutes of actual recording time from something this big. And then when you put it in the charging pod, it has 170 to 200 minutes of battery life. I'm not going to say unlimited battery life, because that's not true, but you have a very, very big amount of time to shoot whatever it is you want to shoot. And then when it comes to charging, I found this camera charges really fast. So you can get back up to full charge or even half charge in like 20 or 30 minutes, if that. It also has this really cool flip up screen, which the Go 3 also had, but look at the size of that. So if you are vlogging, or you just want to use this as a viewfinder, which is what I was doing, obviously when my camera is mounted on my chest, hat, I've no idea without having a preview where this is looking and if it's the right angle as your viewfinder in real time. So you can really, really fine tune your angles. So that means you'll never miss the shot, which I really do like about this camera. I think cameras are evolving so quickly now. And even from the Go 3S, which is this one here, this is the new Go Ultra, there's major steps forward in advancements. The audio as well, another thing. On the Go 3, I used to have to always use these foam windsocks because the audio was so poor out of the camera. Not poor, but could be better. On the Go Ultra, I feel there is a microphone cover on the front here, which helps with wind reduction, especially if you're shooting, like me, a lot of action sports outside where wind noise can just creep in. But there's also a lot more settings in the settings menu for audio reduction, or wind reduction, sorry. So you've got strong and weak. Worth testing. Sometimes I feel the strong can be a little bit too strong, but it might be way better suited for when you're doing things at speed, say in a car or motorbiking or dirt biking, that could come in real handy. Because I actually argue that bad audio or poor audio is worse than poor video. So they've really made advancements in terms of how good the sound is in this camera. And when it comes to settings and knowing what settings to use, there's almost like little explanations in the menu. So you know, if you're a newbie at this stuff, it kind of does walk you through exactly what settings you should use. And if you do want to grab my video settings cheat sheet, I will leave a link below to that, which has got all my favorite settings on a one-page sheet. You just plug them in straight away, and jobs are good. I'm absolutely stoked on this camera. I think there are still some things that will be updated in firmware updates to come, but out the box, I mean, look at how small that is. That's like a powerhouse of a camera. And I can only imagine what cameras are going to be like in the future. And it's magnetic as well, so you can attach this to anything magnetic, which is almost like it works as a stand, like a stand anywhere, which I think is brilliant. Such a creative idea. There's so many different things you can use this for. It has mounts underneath, magnetic mounts, which again, it comes with the mount, so you can use this as like a traditional action camera with the three prongs, and you can actually mount it onto say a GoPro mount or something like that. I put it head-to-head test with a GoPro Hero 13 mountain biking. Stability, very similar stability. I couldn't really tell the difference between the two cameras. They both shoot the same field of view. I did, however, see on the GoPro footage, the edges seem to warp a lot. So GoPro almost like fake this to make the shot wider. But if you actually look closely at the edges, the trees are warped and all sorts. Whereas this has the same field of view, 156 degrees, but there is no warping. It's like a true 156-degree field of view. Low light capabilities, I think it outshone the GoPro by a country mile. Same with audio out the box, having not to use silly dead cats out the box. It gets a thumbs up from me. Ease of use, just those little few things about the clarity zoom, touchscreen sensitivity. Those are the things that I would like to see tweaked in the future. But overall, that's my first impressions. Couple of weeks testing this camera. I'd love to know your feedback. If you've got any comments or questions about the camera, if you're thinking of getting one, let me know. I'll answer them. And I'll also leave that link to my video settings cheat sheet down below as well.